All right, we had us a blockbuster trade in the NFL as we head into the month of July, just before training camps are set to kick off here at the end of the month. The Pittsburgh Steelers have acquired cornerback Jalen Ramsey and tight end Jonnu Smith from the Miami Dolphins in exchange for safety Minkah Fitzpatrick, as well as a couple of 2027 pick swaps here. The big headline, obviously, Jalen Ramsey heading to Pittsburgh. But what the hell are the Pittsburgh Steelers doing? I guess they're all in. This is so unlike the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're talking massive trades. They've basically redone their secondary now, added Darius Slay, now bring in Jalen Ramsey, obviously have the young stud in Joey Porter Jr., get Aaron Rodgers, the old man, to play quarterback for them, trade for DK Metcalf, trade away George Pickens. It's all in, it feels like, for Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that hasn't won a playoff game in 8 seasons. This is 1,000% a Mike Tomlin hot seat year. I think this is the end if they don't pick up some playoff wins. And by some playoff wins, I mean at least 2, because it's been a long drought in Pittsburgh, a organization that has championship level pedigree, experience, demands it from their team. But I don't get Pittsburgh. What are they doing? They're the only team that just keeps spending more and more and more money on defense. The Steelers will pick up a large chunk of Jalen Ramsey's $26.5 million. So he gets $1.5 million pay increase this year. Dolphins picking up 7 of that. The Steelers will pick up the rest of it there, but they really don't save any money. This is going to cost them like $9 million more getting rid of Minkah Fitzpatrick and taking on the Jalen Ramsey contract. On top of that, they got a new $12 million extension for Jonnu Smith for next year. So he's not super expensive this year, but he's going to be another $12 million. They keep spending on defense. And oh, by the way, their superstar player, the franchise cornerstone, TJ Watt, is holding out and demanding a new contract. And what are you going to do? How does Pittsburgh have any money to pay anybody? Why are they paying defensive players? Nobody else is paying defensive players. Any good team drafts young defensive players, spends the money on offense. That's like how this thing goes. The Eagles are paying like nobody on their defense. They're paying everybody on offense, and it seems to work out well for them. Same with the Kansas City Chiefs. Only Pittsburgh could be living in the Stone Age. Mike Tomlin is on the hottest of hot seats, and I just don't get it. Look, Pittsburgh defense is going to be really, really good. They bring in Darius Slay, who I still think has some play left in him. They bring in Jalen Ramsey as well, and they have like young stud quarterback Joey Porter Jr. entering his 3rd season. So they have a solid secondary, but this is a team that is just like a hodgepodge, a mix of different players. What is Aaron Rodgers going to look like on the offensive side of the ball? Now they do get him a tight end, Jonnu Smith, coming off of his best season, most targets, most receptions, first Pro Bowl in his career. And Arthur Smith loves Jonnu Smith. Like, get a guy that loves you like Arthur Smith loves Jonnu Smith. So that does help out Rodgers, helps out the offense. They're going to have to run the ball. He loves throwing to a tight end. But it's weird. It's weird. DK Metcalf, your number 1 receiver. You got rid of George Pickens. This kills my man Pat Freiermuth, and I was a big Pat Freiermuth guy. I like me some Pat Freiermuth. So this is a bizarre move by the Steelers. I can't believe they're taking on more money for a guy like Jalen Ramsey, who is good, but he's not that elite level corner that he once was. He's heading towards the back end of his career. And as we know, corners age like milk. I mean, they do not last long in this league. It's a young man's game. You got to be elite athletically, and you just kind of lose that on the back end. So I just do not understand this move from Pittsburgh. Now, teams are inquiring about trading for TJ Watt, and the Steelers are adamant that TJ Watt is not available. They want him to retire as a Steeler, but where are they going to get this money from? Like, who are you going to have on your offense? Draft, I mean, what are we doing? I mean, is Riley Leonard the future at quarterback here, or is it Will Howard? Whatever shitty quarterback they just took in this past draft. I just do not understand these moves by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, on the flip side here with the Miami Dolphins, look, I've been saying it pretty much all offseason. I think the Dolphins are in for a massively bad season. Like, there is nothing left in the cupboard. I don't know what this team has left. Like I said, Jonnu Smith was like leading the teams in targets and receptions last year because Tyreek Hill is too busy, having more baby mamas than having touchdown receptions. He is a zero impact guy, it feels like, on the field anymore. Jalen Waddle's always up and down. He's hurt. Tua is literally one hit away every single week from ending up like in a retirement home. Like, God bless him, but he is very, very fragile. He keeps racking up these concussions. They do have Devon Achane, but everything else feels like shit. They've completely rebuilt their defensive secondary now. They've gotten in a bunch of new pieces, and Fitzpatrick was a good player, former Dolphin. They did draft him back in 2018, and he was an impactful guy, just didn't really love his role with then head coach Brian Flores, so he comes back in, but Fitzpatrick has really been down the last 2 seasons as far as of his all-pro level standards that he's had. So I don't even know how much Fitzpatrick has left in the tank. This feels like a complete rebuild in Miami. Feels like the head coach is on his way out. I wouldn't be surprised if Tyreek Hill's out the door next. Maybe Jalen Waddle. Maybe everybody. Maybe Devon Achane. Maybe Tua Tagovailoa. I just don't know who is even valuable on this team anymore or what we're going to get out of the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins might be one of the 3 worst teams in football this year. I think the DJ Mikey Mike experiment has completely failed. This San Francisco style offense, everyone's kind of figured it out. It's not the hot trendy offense anymore. Hot trendy offenses are either straight run the ball like a lunatic in Philadelphia and have the best offensive line, Detroit, or this creative style passing game that we've seen out of the Sean McVay tree. The Sean McVay tree keeps living up and producing these high-level coaches that are massively successful. So it's going to be an interesting year, I think, for the Dolphins. But as the Steelers, back to them, they're all in. This is it. This is an all-in type of offseason. All the trades, all the moves. It just kind of screams poverty franchise to me. I don't know. The Steelers just never felt like this. They were a stable organization. They've been incredibly stable with Mike Tomlin. Never had a losing season with Mike Tomlin, but they only have 1 Super Bowl win, and that was kind of Bill Cowher's team, like not too much. It was a little bit after Cowher, but not completely. So the bones were still there, i.e. Ben Roethlisberger. They got to another Super Bowl, lost to Aaron Rodgers, funnily enough, but nowhere close since. And they've been dreadful in the playoffs. Can't get playoff wins. Embarrassed at home in the divisional round to the Jaguars in 2017 when it looked like that was the year, like one last ride, Steelers, Patriots for a shot at the Super Bowl. But they've been just a massive letdown ever since. One and done when they can manage to get into the playoffs. So look, Mike Tomlin's done a hell of a job putting up with a bunch of lunatics on his teams over the years. Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, George Pickens. Like, he just deals with divas all the times, and he's kept it buttoned up. He's had Mason Rudolph at quarterback and Duck Hodges, and they managed to win games. But I just don't know how this team is going to put it all together. This is a super fragile situation. And like I said, this just reeks of moves that a poverty franchise would make. Oh, we're bringing in old Russell Wilson last year. We're bringing in old Aaron Rodgers again this year. Let's trade for old-ass Jalen Ramsey and old DK Metcalf, who can't stay on the field and also a loose cannon. We don't want to invest in our young loose cannon in George Pickens. Shit, I would rather play George Pickens, who's like a loose cannon, but he's young, rather than DK, who's a loose cannon and hurt and old. I don't know. It just feels super weird. The offensive line has upgraded. Arthur Smith is kind of an atrocious red zone play caller. Now, there were moments for the Steelers last year. The hope is maybe the offense is just a little bit more reliable and can put more 7s on the board early in the season, but they started out great. They just finished horrendously because you can't rely on a defense to continuously shut down people, shut people out for 17, 18, 19, 20 weeks of an NFL season. You're going to need your offense to carry the day for you, need to get first downs, massive time of possessions, bleed clock, and keep your defense off the field and score touchdowns. I guess that's their philosophy. I guess that's their hope. They move off of Najee Harris. They still have Jalen Warren. They do go ahead and get some young running back play with Caleb Johnson out of Iowa in the draft. So I guess they're going to rely on that. But this just feels like a complete hodgepodge, a weird mishmash of talent, players. The defense is old, expensive, kind of fragile too. Like, easily Jalen Ramsey could pick up an injury. TJ Watt could show up, play, pick up an injury, and this defense is going to be mediocre. And what happens if you lose Joey Porter Jr., like your elite young corner who's not even expensive yet? Like, it's just a weird match. Offense, I don't trust it. I'm kind of all out on the Steelers right now. They feel like the New York Giants, what they currently are, because remember, the Giants used to be a championship level organization, and now they're kind of a shit show. It feels like the Steelers are racing towards that future here, but I don't know. Call me crazy. I do think Mike Tomlin's a great coach. I think he's worn out his welcome in Pittsburgh. He's kind of losing the locker room. probably needs a fresh start. Any team would be lucky to have him as a stabling force for them. But man, Pittsburgh, I don't know what they're doing. They're spending money on defense. This is an offensive league, ladies and gentlemen. Like all offense all the time. But we'll see how it goes. Big trade. Steelers get Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. Dolphins get Minka Fitzpatrick. And I think both these teams will hit their under win total for this season. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you like the trade for Pittsburgh, or are you with me? This is just kind of a weird disaster waiting to happen in the Steel City. And how bad do we think the Dolphins are going to be? I think they're going to be the worst team in the AFC, maybe. I don't know. Could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got daily sports content for you guys. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of access to cool and exclusive perks, badges, emojis, things to use throughout the live streams, throughout the weeks and the years. All sorts of great content for you guys. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.